right. Hi, y'all, and welcome to Sacred Access, a space for the whimsically divine. I'm Chesten.
And I'm Christina.
I am super excited about today's episode. The topic for today is You Are Miraculous. And I have been looking forward to this episode since we decided to start a podcast. And that was back in May that we decided to even do this, and it's August now. So I have been like waiting and raring to go with this. So how about you?
Yeah, I know it's been like hard to sitting on a topic and we just want to get it out. Yeah, so I'm really curious because The Miraculous You is such an enticing title. I want to hear everything that you have to say on this. Like what directions and areas is this going to span out to? So I'm really excited.
Me too. So, and that's a good point with miraculous. So defining it, because I know that there can be like religious connotations to it. And when I use the term miraculous, like according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, it's an extremely outstanding or unusual event, thing, or accomplishment. And then with Oxford Languages, one of the definitions is a highly improbable and extraordinary and bringing very welcome consequences.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, talking about it today, again, there's no like religious connotation to it. If anybody wants to add one to it for themselves, absolutely welcome. It's that this is I'm so passionate about this. I wish that everybody was able to truly recognize that they are proof of a miracle, that their existence is a miracle, and that everybody else is too, and that life is in the planet that we live on, and just the solar system, the galaxy, the universe, all of it is proof of miracles. And we're in this all the time, and we just don't even recognize it. And I feel like it's very unfortunate. And I feel like if people embraced that they are a miracle, what decisions would they make in their life? How would they view themselves? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm thinking it's like sometimes we can take things for granted and not really look at everything as a whole.
Yeah.
And just the other day, I was thinking of how much anything has evolved. How can this being have all these intricate organs that they all work together? It's just like those amazing things. And going back to 1,000, 2, 4, 5, just seeing the evolution of even different species of plants or anything evolving in their environment. So yeah, everything.
Yeah. And I will say, like, none of what I'm about to talk about or anything is new. I mean, this is various indigenous cultures and their wisdom. Like, none of this is like a new concept. And I'm not saying like, this is just, I just love talking about it and wish everybody knew it. And then I would like to also say too, before getting started, because I think that it's important to address, because again, the term miracle can have so many connotations, and there's some people that unfortunately have a negative viewpoint of the word because of the way it was used and abused and things like that. And so I do want to say that even though I view each person as being a miracle and that life is a miracle, I still fully am pro-choice. I still fully believe in body autonomy. I still fully believe in gender affirming care. If a person wants to do any sort of, cosmetic procedures to make them feel like they're more in their body, because I do think that we confuse miracle with perfection, and that's not the case. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And just thinking about being comfortable within our own skin, kind of like what you were saying, whatever that feels like, it feels like that differently for everybody. And there's no right or no wrong. There just is,
Exactly.
Just allowing, going back to that beingness, allowing people just to be.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the other important thing too is that I do view life as miraculous and people as miraculous. And also too, recognize that there are people who are very cruel and put in systems that are horrific to other people. And so there are people who are living lives that do not feel miraculous because they may be facing genocide. They may be being abused. They may be being oppressed. They may be facing some horrific thing. And so totally, even though it is miraculous, that I don't want people to feel like this is like a gaslighting conversation of, well, but you're miraculous, so you should be happy and grateful that you exist because, again, there are such atrocities out there. And I feel like it's important to note that because I don't want someone that may be listening in going through something really hard to be like, well, crap, here's another person who's all just love and light. It's like, no,
Yeah.
like, it's okay not to feel like life is a miracle. It's totally understandable. For me, I'm coming from it with, I want people, again, to feel like they're miraculous so that they take better care of themselves and they advocate for themselves more and they feel empowered or they feel their self-worth, like that they feel enough. So that's why I'm so passionate about this conversation, is for each one of us to recognize that we are enough. And so if anybody does not treat us like we are miraculous, they should go on somewhere else.
Do you think, like, if people were just allowed to be, we may not even have to have this conversation in a sense, because everybody could see that, because no one was trying to push people down, push them saying this is wrong.
Yeah. I think that's where it comes down to, like, the perfect world aspect. And that's where you can get into the philosophy of, like, could we ever reach that point? Because are some people prone to wanting to feel that sense of superiority? Or is it because they don't feel miraculous or they don't feel like they're enough? Again, not excusing their behaviors whatsoever. Like, they should still be accountable for whatever they do. But that is a really good question. And I think that comes back to, like, that whole, what is it, nature nurture argument of, for, like, how much of it is, well, we see in magazines and stuff, and we see with advertisements that to sell a product, they try to push us to not like ourselves as we are, or to feel insecure about random things that really shouldn't matter. Like you were saying, like, people should just be allowed to be. And, how much of it is that the society creating this poor view of ourselves, which in turn, two different types of people. There are people who suffer and don't want anybody else to suffer. And then the ones who are suffering who want everybody else to suffer because they're suffering. So yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something to ponder, but just going back to what you said, like, that perfect world, could we ever get to that perfect world? We all, a lot of us, we resonate with that, and we would hope to be able to see that at some point.
Well, and I think it's all relative, because it's like, in the sense of kind of like if two people are both going for the same job. And maybe that deals with, like you were saying, that recognizing that we're miraculous, but also that life is imperfect, that there are times where we're not going to get what we want, or there are times where, that disappointment just happens, and that doesn't automatically mean that we're not enough. It's just a circumstance. Like, we just, I didn't get that job, and that's okay. It doesn't mean I'm any which type of way. It just means I didn't get the job, like, and not internalizing it. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. And just seeing it for, like, oh, that's okay. I'm not going to take that as I'm not a miracle or something's wrong with it just because I didn't get it. Been like, cool. Okay. That means there's something bigger and better.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a great question. Good, wonderful things to ponder. That, All right. So I think I got the big things out of the way that I didn't want to, like, where I stand on things. I didn't want it to be misconstrued before I go into this awesome topic about how you are miraculous. And so with that said, so I'm going to start, like, from start at the very the very beginning, before the beginning, and then slowly work my way towards the individual. And what I mean by that is, let's just thinking about the concept of existence in and of itself. Again, not even bringing some type of religious thing into it. At the end of the day, no matter how far back you go, like before the Big Bang or before stuff existed, there was nothing. And no matter how far you go back, because I think there was a while there and it may have shifted, but I remember at one point, I think they had talked about antimatter, like that condensed. And then, the bang happened and everything came into being. But what came before that? So no matter what substance or what building block we find, what came before that part? Because no matter how far back you go, at one point, nothing was there. And then there was all this stuff like that. This huge burst happened, or this huge whatever happened to create planets, stars, like all these galaxies, these universes. How wild is that? How amazing and how miraculous is that? Just, if I told you to go stand in an empty room and was like, trust me that something is randomly going to appear, like,
Yeah. I totally agree, because like everything that came out of that, whatever it was, just manifested everything afterwards.
And we are all made of that, and we're all interconnected with that. And for me, like, so quick little side part, that when I talk about like energy healing or source energy, that's what I'm talking about, is that whatever it is we all came from. So, just that add in. But yeah, how wild is that? Like we're all made of the same stuff, and we're all interconnected. And again, that's not personal to me. There's the quote that, we're all stardust. Are all made from the same things as stars. How beautiful is that? How, again, like I couldn't imagine going into, like, if someone came to me and said, hey, in this empty gymnasium, give it time, but like, even a rock is going to appear out of nowhere, and not the like falling from the sky, the satire of it, but just that it randomly just appears. Like, we would be like, that's not going to happen. But it did. Like we're proof of it. Like the earth is proof of it. How wild.
Yeah, I know. Even like a dandelion. Like I keep getting these little flowers, like it all. And I think it's like going back to what you said, that we're all made of one.
Yeah.
We're all connected, and we're all put here to work together. The dandelion, what does a dandelion do? You know what I mean? What does the earthworm do? What is it? It all serves a purpose for our one connectedness. Does that make sense?
It does. Or even just experiencing it all together. You know what I mean? Like, because I do wonder if some people or some animals or some plants are here like as a more like a just have fun, like just more of that, just existing to
just
exist.
To be here. Yeah, just to be. Yep.
And so, that, so there's that aspect. And because a long while back, when I first looked up what are the odds of like me existing in this form, it was like a 1 in 400 trillion. I don't think that's true, because it's like, what are the odds of like creation? Obviously it happened at least once, but out of what calculations? So you have that part of it. And then how wild is it to have a viable planet where life form can exist? And don't be wrong, like I'm totally open to the concept of extraterrestrials and all that sort of stuff. But it seems like, at least in this solar system, out of 9 planets, and well, I say 9 because of Pluto, but 8 planets, I guess, and however many moons that some of those planets have. And then, out of all of those, like, at least for this, like our version of life form, not like bacteria and stuff like that, like we're the only planet that's viable. And how many other solar systems have been kind of that they've tried to explore and not found viable planets.
Yeah. And
Right?
that's going back to that main topic of miraculous.
Yeah.
Like everything. It's like everything to just come together at one time to create, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
evolve. Like it had a plan in place. Say it wasn't evolved right here, but it had a plan. We're going to create this.
Well, and the fact of like life form, if the first life form, if it was a bacteria, how wild is that to have like, you know, these more considered like inanimate things or inorganic things, like and suddenly you have a life form. Two
Yeah.
is miraculous. Again, even if it starts with the bacteria, if it starts with, you know, some very like unicellular thing, I mean, that's still wild. Again, if I took you into a
Absolutely.
room that was completely sterile and be like, just wait, like a random little bitty life form is going to appear. It may be a bacteria, but still it's going to appear. It's wild to think about. It's wild to like, that it came from nothing. Again, that it came from, like, that's miraculous. And again, what are the odds of that? Obviously, it's at least one in however much, because, you know, we're proof of that. But it's miraculous.
Yeah. It's like we're proof of that existing, that happening, this coming to fruition, how we are today. You know, like when you said
Exactly.
even like the little microbes or whatever, like the ones that are living in the glaciers, you know, that
Yeah.
have been there for who knows how long, they're surviving in a glacier. It's just amazing. But we almost, like for me, I'm just thinking that popped in my head, that's like we need all of that to exist with on this blue ball.
Oh, absolutely. It's like our, there's a part in our cells that are mitochondria. And I know that some people listening will be like the powerhouse of the cell. But with the mitochondrial DNA, it comes from a bacteria. Then, I mean, how cool, you know, it's just to go from like a unicellular or single cell, and then suddenly we have multicellular organisms. Like it's wild. And it's like the ultimate group project. Like you were talking about with the body, how interconnected everything is. That is the ultimate group project that all of us go through in life, because it's like, I think it's, oh my gosh, 400 trillion apparently keeps coming up. I may not get that right. I don't remember it off the top of my head. It's like however many trillion cells make up us. It's wild. Like it's cool. Like thank God they work together for the most part. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's like the intricateness of everything connecting. One thing connects to here to do this, to that, to that. It is beyond.
Yeah.
And I like how you worded it, like a group project.
It is the ultimate, because, you know, with me, I work with bodies all the time, and it really is the body having to all work together to help that person live and to do the tasks that they want to do, that they have to do to accomplish their goals, to, I mean, handle life, to digest stuff. Like there's so many moving parts, and there are a number of people who are just brutal to their bodies. Like I don't think we recognize how much, what all we put our bodies through. And that could be an entire episode with that whole concept. And if anybody's interested, you know, please feel free to email sacredaccesspodcast@gmail.com about that. Because that could be an episode in and of itself, like about the body, how it is that group project, and how we take that for granted and just really don't treat our bodies well. Or honestly, our mind or our spirit too. Like we just don't give ourselves enough credit. But like you were saying before, if we honored that we were a miracle and really believe that, would we better take care of ourselves?
And I think that, and that could be another podcast, multiple podcasts, because it's like, why do we do that to our body, our mind, our spirit? You know, what was that? You know, and then that's what caused us to do harm. You right? What do we need to work on? What are things that are resonating in with us that are not resonating within our body to have us just be at peace and flow on this
Yeah.
earth? Yeah.
Yeah. And so we went to the bacteria, and so life just beginning. And so then, of like, and I am not great with time, you guys, like, or I'm not great with time at all when it comes to that stuff. And it's like millions upon millions of however many years for whatever plants, whatever animals, like yada, 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 yada. Supposedly, the last I looked, because I did try to look that up, like human civilization, as they categorize it, they say that started like 10,000 years ago. Not to say that, there's like the Neanderthals and all that sort of stuff too, but like what they consider human civilization was around 10,000 years ago, right? And so between now and 10,000 years ago, that is approximately 400 generations worth between you and that ancestor.
So like
And think,
400 grandparents.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a lot. That's a lot.
That's what, and imagine life, like, and of course, life is very difficult for a lot of people right now. It is a very hard time then as well, because you didn't have like, before the age of 5, how many infants died, or how many people died with childbirth, and how much like modern medicine made a huge difference. And sanitation made a huge difference, and agriculture and things like that all made huge differences. But imagine how hard, like, or how it's just wild to think that 400 generations worth of people getting by at least enough to have progeny and survive long enough for you to exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
It is. That's like, I lost the word for it, but just thinking of like all that, like they made it. They made it to the next, to the next, to next, for us to be able to be present today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this could be a whole nother podcast too, as I've definitely done meditations where, because unfortunately there were more than likely times where it was not a great situation between like how the progeny came to be, or, what the ancestors went through, what my ancestors went through, and things like that. So I try to do meditations like, I'm sorry for the hardships y'all went through, and I'm grateful for you. And like, just kind of things like that to honor that. Like, I'm glad to be here. And I recognize hopefully most of them had like lives where they were happy, or in some way at peace, or in some way excited to have kids. But
Yeah.
who knows how many weren't, or who knows how many didn't have the choice, or who knows how many that, again, it was an unfortunate circumstance. So, also honoring that part too. But yeah, it's just wild that, about like 400 generations for, again, human civilization, but we're not even counting how many generations prior to that, because even before that, we still have ancestors before that period of time. And it's just wild, like all of these people leading to us at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
I know. And just everything, like just restating like what you just said, like everything that everybody went through, the good, the bad, the hard, it's just, I don't take that for granted. Like when you meditate, when you're talking about your meditation, like you're honoring them and thanking them. That is a precious gift to give to our ancestors. It's not anything that they would ask for us to do, but just to honor them and hold space for them is amazing.
And so, like, if we tried to do, and I'm sure someone is there's so many brilliant people who are excellent with math and probability and all that stuff. But I would think that between life being, like the universe, like the inanimate stuff being created, right? The Big Bang aspect. And then you have like life, the bacteria version, like the cellular aspect. And then you have the evolution, whatever that looked like. And then you have all these generations. I mean, I would think that the probability or the odds of that would be staggering. However, I couldn't imagine how many zeros that would be at the end of the number, right? I mean, it's just wild.
Yeah, it is.
And so that's like the miraculous. And we haven't even gotten to like us yet or you yet, like how, like for our existence, this is like, you know, that part of it too. And so first I'm going to do real quick for like in vitro fertilization, for example, like, so the technique specifically that I'll talk about is like the egg and the sperm being chosen. I mean, how beautiful is that? How wonderful is that?
Yeah.
That facility chose those two parts of you, like two parts of a person,
Yeah.
the egg and the sperm to come together to create this person. How wonderful is it that they got chosen and that they were viewed as amazing? Like, oh, this is good stuff. Like this can become a person and survive. Like how amazing is that? And especially for the odds that for that sperm and that egg to come together, even in being picked setting, right?
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
And then you have the aspect of, for those who have to like travel, who have to do that aspect, like that egg released during that ovulation period. And not just that. So the egg releases from the ovary. It is for a short bit in the abdomen, and then it goes into the fallopian tube. So it has to like go in the correct direction. It has to like allow itself to be coaxed into that fallopian tube, right? So, it can't get lost, or it's not recommended to get lost.
Yeah. It's like trying to use its own internal compass and just
Right.
that knowing of going to the right area.
It's like, whew, I made a good direction with this. Yes. So you have that aspect. And then you have for the sperm, because entering the body, like it's a very acidic environment. It is made to like weed out the ones that aren't gonna make it, right? And so even with that, it has to like, supposedly the egg, or from my understanding, the egg releases, or some hormone gets released to let the sperm know which fallopian tube to go to, because for people who have two of them, right? But even then, the sperm still got to listen.
Yeah.
Like,
but like, I hear something in the distance. Never mind. Right? Like paying attention.
Right? I think I'm going to go the other way. Nah, that can't be right. That can't be the way to go.
It's like listening to their internal compass as well to get to the right place.
Well, the internal compass, and for that, the external cue, because you have that, like, I'm over here. Like, I hear this voice right now. Like, and they got to listen to it. And I'll be like, no, they're wrong. I'm going to go this other way.
Yeah.
So they went the right direction. And then to go from the entrance all the way up to the fallopian tube, which is where fertilization happens. I tried to look it up. I tried to like look up the equivalent of a person like running or something, or really it'd be swimming. Let's be honest. But having to travel so far to finally reach that egg. I teach at a massage school, and when we go into the reproductive part, like I'll talk about that. I'm like, y'all already did it. Y'all already completed a very hard thing, right? To reach, or half of you did, to reach that egg and for fertilization to happen. And then after the fertilization, of course, the cells got to replicate and do its thing to start becoming a full person, a multicellular, like a full person. And it's got to like travel down the fallopian tube into the uterus and attach to the wall where it can get nutrients to continue growing. And because unfortunately, sometimes implantation will happen in the fallopian tube. That's not viable. Or implantation it can happen that the fertilized egg goes out into the abdomen instead. So being able to get there to the uterus, to that wall, I mean, that's a lot of work. We like already did a lot of work just to be here, right? And so, in and of itself, like conception, whether it's the traveling egg and sperm, whether it's the chosen egg and sperm, it's in and of itself, it is an amazing and miraculous feat just to get to that point.
Yeah.
And really just, yeah.
I was just saying, going back to like, came to my mind is like, we can do hard things. From the very get-go, we did extremely hard things to not underestimate. Yeah.
Absolutely. And even, you're absolutely right. We've done like very hard things. And really the amount of growth that we do and the amount of development in a 9-month period is wild.
Yeah.
Like building things. We are building from scratch. We've got the blueprint, but you still got to build.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, depending on that a person's environment, whether they have enough resources, whether their mom is able to get enough nutrients, or the person, whoever's like the surrogate, whoever it is that is carrying them, whether they're able to get enough support, enough nutrients, whether, they're in a calm environment where they are supported by other people, physically, emotionally, all that sort of stuff. It all makes a difference in how much stress happens during this process, right?
Yeah.
It's just so miraculous. All of it is. And even for those who aren't able to go past the point of conception, they already did so much. Like they already achieved so much. That is miraculous. So I think it's just honoring all of those different things. It's so much already being done before entering the external world.
Mm-hmm. There is, because just think like that egg has been sitting there for however long, and that one specific egg was the one that created us. Yeah.
Well, and what's cool is that so we are the egg part of us, like half of us is formed when our grandmother is pregnant with our mom, or when the grandmother is pregnant with a surrogate. I'm not sure how would you call it otherwise. I don't know. The grand surrogate is pregnant with the surrogate.
Yeah.
But basically the eggs, like half of them are developed then. So that's like 2 generations worth, right?
Yeah.
Because whatever that grandmother went through with their pregnancy can affect the development of the eggs. So like, it's just wild.
It is. I'm glad you brought this topic today.
Thank you.
I'm learning so much.
And I didn't even get into the birth or any of the other stuff, right? It's just that alone. Again, the odds of that egg, which was formed, like, would that be 2 generations back? Because, I mean, it was from the mom, but it started with the grandmother. And then also the sperm, but not just that. Sperm is affected, is the quality of it changes with a person's age. It changes with their external environment, what they're taking in, all that sort of stuff. So our external environment is constantly affecting us. Our community, like bringing it back to what you were saying of how interconnected everything is in an environmental way, like the dandelion and its interactions with the world as a whole. So before we're even born, our entire environment, our community, our society had an impact on us and had an impact on our development.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
And it is totally wild. Going back to also like, it takes a village. Takes a village. Going back, like what you said, the environment, the people you're around, what you're ingesting, how well we're taking care of our body will affect who we are, has a potential to affect who we are. Yeah.
Well, and how our society and community are set up so that we can take care of our body.
Yeah.
If our society and communities aren't set up to make it so a person who's pregnant is able to take care of their bodies well, that they're able to get rest, get nutrients, things like that. And I say all that to say, like, obviously for anybody who's fretting about anything, all we can do is the best we can with what we've got. And again, I think that's that accountability where there's only so much we can do, and acknowledging the impact that our community and our society has on us. And that's why, I mean, God bless the WIC programs.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness for these programs to help people. You know, thank goodness for Planned Parenthood. Thank goodness for all of these programs that exist, and that how important it is that we do have communities that support each other. Because without that, it does affect all of us, and it affects the individual, and then all these individuals make the community.
Yep. It's like a domino effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so all of that, hadn't even gotten to the birth part, right? All of that is wild. Just the odds of all of those things occurring. To me, that's, again, evidence of miracles, like that each one of us is proof of a miracle. Again, whether a person is able to make it into the external world or not, whether their journey ends in the womb, they've accomplished so much. And again, proof of miracles.
Yeah.
Right. And then once a person enters the world with the astrology charts, right, or with the astrology. So I am going to botch this. And this, another one. There's so many things that could be a full episode.
I know.
But so with the planet alignments, so the Earth has dipoles. Basically, it has antennas, if you will, that pick up on the rotations of the other planets, and the movements of the other planets shift things, which affects the shifts on Earth. Or you can view it as waves, like, so Mars in a certain degree or a certain point will have a wave because it's always emitting a frequency. Like everything emits frequencies because all atoms vibrate. Like everything vibrates. Everything has a song to it, a sound to it. Yep. So it's emitting these sounds. You know, the Earth with its fancy antennas hears it. And this person is born when these planets, I mean, the development too, I'm sure that could be a whole topic too, like at conception and then through the 9 months that they're developing everything, how much of the body is picking up on this song of the solar system, of the universe, on top of the song of the community and things like that, right? Mm-hmm. And then they're born after having been molded by the movement of this solar system. And so that also too, on top of like the genetic aspect, you have the unique individual from a genetic aspect, and then you have a unique individual for how they were baking in that, you know, with those planets, with those frequencies, and living in the community that they lived in, living in the family dynamics or the social structure or whatever have you that they were living in. And so out comes this very, very unique individual. Like, wow.
I know that emits their own frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That they're a culmination of ancestral stuff. They're a culmination of their environment. They're a culmination of the solar system's song or symphony that it was playing at that point in time. I mean, it's just so beautiful. And that's not even like throwing in also too, because there's different cultures have different astrological things. I know about, you know, with the Western, with the zodiac one, and then also for, the Chinese zodiac, that it's 12 different animals. For each year, it's a different animal, right? So you have all of those aspects playing
as
a
well.
role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. And then as a person develops, like from up until the age of 7, we are more little sponges. So we're taking in our environment as truth, or that's like this environment is normal. Mm-hmm. And so we don't have as much of that like critical thinking of, let me look at this, do I want this attribute, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And so that unique experience of being around the adults or the kids that person is around, that unique experience of birth order, that unique experience of, actually I was just talking about this yesterday, depending on if the child is, and I totally watched TV a lot growing up, but what TV shows that they're watching, like I watched a lot of Married with Children. So, you know, that unique experience of watching that program along with Blue's Clues, Steve is awesome. So, how that shifted and how those things, along with like my family experiences, my social experiences, my like community experiences, all blended with all this other stuff that we've just talked about to give my personal unique blend and perceptions of the world. Like,
yeah, like how amazing is that? And that's what makes us all so, going back to a miracle, because we're so unique. No one will ever be, none of us could ever be recreated technically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I hope that with that too, because even for doing this podcast, I mean, how many people do podcasts? I mean, it's like you turn around, everybody's got a mic in their hand.
Yep.
So we've all got opinions, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, we're doing this with our unique blends of
Yes.
perceptions and things like that. And so I hope that, like, looking at it from this way, like every single person is unique. Now, don't get me wrong. We have things that we have in common with other people. They're for different reasons. It can be physical attributes that we share. It can be personalities that we share. It can be ethics. It can be morals. It can be astrological charts are similar. Goodness, what else is there? Like genetic stuff can be similar. Like there are similarities that we have with different groups of people. And still at the end of the day, we are unique. And I feel like that's that paradox of we are miraculous and we are extraordinary. And it's all of us together because there's so many of us. It is also both extraordinary and ordinary. And how beautiful is that?
It is. If you think of like how many miracles happened on this planet, it's amazing in an astonishing way of like what we have created here.
And I hope that if anybody's listening to this, I hope that some takeaways I hope that people have. And like I said, the reason that I'm so passionate about this is I do want everybody to recognize that they are miraculous, that they are proof of miracles, and also too that they are unique and that they have something very special to offer to the world that no one else can offer by just being them.
Yep.
By just their experiences, their perception of life, their personality. Like they have something very unique to offer the world. And so whatever it is that they are passionate about, whether it's in the arts, whether it's in science, whether it's in, construction, whether it's in trade styles, like whatever it is, they have something very unique to offer the world. And we're better for them existing and better for them being here. And, that they should play their unique song, their unique blend of frequencies that makes them them.
Yeah. It's what makes the world beautiful. We could keep going and so much further in length on this topic. And do you think we'll have something like this in the future? Are we going to do?
I don't know. I guess it depends on, coming back to it. I mean, I think this would be a really cool topic to revisit. I don't know when, but like maybe every couple of years or so. Because I really don't think people can hear that they're enough. I don't think enough people can hear. I think everybody needs to be reminded that they are miraculous. And I tell my patients that all the time, that they are amazing, that they're proof of miracles, that their body is proof of miracles, and all that sort of stuff. And I tell my students that I really think that the more that we hear it, the more empowered that we are. And again, the more hopefully it helps make us a little bit braver, a little bit more courageous to maybe try things that, doing but everybody else does that. What do I have to offer? It's like, you have to offer you. No one else is you. Like no one else can be you. Yeah. And just like, and I think that's that also the flip side of we can't be anyone else. It's impossible. We can never, and we're not meant to like emulate anybody else. We can identify attributes that we like, identify the ethics that we like, there's the morals, we can identify their artistic capabilities, we can identify these things that we like about them, and then aspire to have our own way of expressing those things.
Yeah. Like be inspired to go and like, hey, I like that. I want to go in that direction to see where it takes me because that resonated with me.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a totally different, like what you said, it's going to create their own unique frequency if they go into that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And then I think too, hopefully hearing that if hearing that they are miraculous, that it'll also make them a person like a little bit braver about, again, people who may be not treating them well or maybe taking advantage of them. Or if a person is kind of a people pleaser, hopefully maybe this inspires them a little bit that they don't have anything to prove.
Yeah.
That they are miraculous. They don't got to do anything else. They just got to exist. I mean, of course, like for me, at the end of the day, I do have to show up to work.
Yeah.
I got to show up to work at scheduled times because I got to like also respect my patients' times, my students' times, just like I expect them to respect my time. So we're not going to that part either. Like I'm enough so I don't ever have to do anything. It's like, no, I also have to be part of my community, or I choose to engage with my community, my friends, my loved ones, my society. So, you know, there are those parts, but yeah. But we're enough as we are, like,
yes,
at this point.
We are. Yep.
All right. Well, so it completes you are miraculous. Do you feel miraculous now, Christina, or a little bit more miraculous?
I do, because I love how you broke it down and it really makes you stop and think. I think this was such an excellent topic because we sometimes take ourselves for granted. You know, we think we need a miracle of something just popping up in the corner of the room when we are actually that within us.
And I do think it would be cool to revisit a little bit soon the miracles of community too. Like taking this, I do think we need to apply it to ourselves, and then also that other people are also miraculous too. Like, yeah.
I like that. Well, perfect.
All right. Well, that ends this episode of Sacred Access Podcast. If you have any questions or comments or any topics that you would like for us to talk about, you can reach us at sacredaccesspodcast@gmail.com. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, miraculous day. Thank you for listening to Sacred Access Podcast, a space for the whimsically divine.